Hello, my name is Sophia James, and today I will be talking about social media and the effects it has on teenagers. My specific purpose during this speech is to actuate my audience to stop using social media and focus less on technology as a whole. So, my thesis statement is young people should strive to use less social media because it's unsafe, it can ruin relationships, and allow them to be bullied online. So, did you know that 90% of young people use social media? As you can see, that's a huge number. And so that leaves a huge chance and a huge risk for a bunch of kids to actually be bullied online or harassed or become addicted, which is also been a main cause for wanting to ban social media apps like TikTok and other apps because of because of what they can do to young people and how they are causing young people to focus more and more on their phone rather than their schoolwork or their friendships and their relationships. I have my first piece of evidence is actually from Yale Medicine, where they did a study on young people on social media. And according to Dr. Murthy's advisory, the excessive use of social media can harm teens by disrupting important healthy behaviors. It can overstimulate their brain's reward center, and when the stimulation becomes excessive, can trigger pathways comparable to addiction. So as you can see, the more that we use social media, our brain automatically starts to create these pathways and these things that are going to allow young people to want to use it more. And it's just like a drug or alcohol or anything like that. It's a form of addiction that can almost be unhealthy and unsafe. So I feel like parents need to watch their children, and teenagers especially need to make sure that they're taking breaks from being chronically online, because at the end of the day it's just not healthy and it's not safe. I have credibility personally to talk about this topic because I am a teenager in high school who is on all the social media platforms, and so I know how easily it can be to rather scroll on your phone than do your homework. And so for a solution for the problem, we need to make young people understand that social media, it can be extremely unsafe, and it's not always as fun as we think it can be. There are people on there that want to stalk you, want to hurt you. There are bad things that can happen on social media, and as long as we allow this to go on, bad things will eventually happen. The consequences of social media is online bullying, and that can also lead to suicide or self-harm among young people, which is a big problem, especially in the United States. The first people social media does to young people is it causes young people to become addicted to something, which we already discussed. And another source that talks about addiction among young people is New Line Health, which says that it can affect your attention capacity. So while users are processing this constant influx of info, additional app prompts and notifications are competing for attention and can cause individuals to displace their concentration across multiple incoming media streams. So it can literally affect your brain and affect the way you read things, you look at things. This is a serious problem because if young people are easily getting addicted to social media, this opens a whole new realm of things for them to get addicted to. This can cause your brain to develop differently, which is unsafe, not just for us, but for way younger children who are growing up with this social media and growing up playing games on their iPhone rather than building blocks or playing with Legos or something that actually helps them learn how to problem solve and use their brain in a way that they wouldn't normally use on their phones. All of this evidence supports my claim because, as you can see, social media can cause unhealthy addictions. Next, social media is also a huge problem among young people because it affects their behaviors. Social media can affect a teenager's behavior because it causes them to become moody or even angry if they do not have their phones. Two sources I have for this are Khan Academy, which pretty much just said that we are constantly changing and that our genetic material can get rewritten if we're not careful among social media. And then another, Columbia School of Public Health also did a recent investigation which says, although there are important benefits among social media, can also provide platforms for bullying and exclusion, unrealistic expectations about body image and sources of popularity, normalization of risk-taking behaviors, and can be detrimental to mental health. So, as you can see, social media also negatively affects young people's behavior. This is because of apps like TikTok, where they see people with the best things. It makes them want the best too, and can cause them to envy others, which is just gets into a whole different realm of things that we really should not do as a society. First, so how are we going to solve this? Parents can limit the amount of screen times. They do not need to allow their teens to have their phones when they're supposed to be going to bed. Teens can be encouraged to go outside rather than sit on their phones. And parents can set screen times on their kids' phones to make sure they're not overusing them. There are two websites that have actually done this. Both software and hardware strategies can help people manage their social media. One software approach would be to delete the apps on your phone but keep them on a laptop, and that's from Psychology Today. And then Education Week says that you should, it pretty much just says that parents need to try to keep their kids off of it, especially at a young age, and you should focus on them trying to use problem-solving skills rather than just going on their phones. So, all this evidence supports my claims because, as you can see, social media has a huge negative factor among young people that we need to keep away from teens. If we allow social media to keep evolving, young people will not be safe in the future. Suicide rates will only increase. The amount of online bullying will also only increase, creating a more anxiety-ridden society. As you can see, there are so many good things that can happen if we just decrease the amount of social media young people use. Social media is endangering our young people. How do we solve this problem? Parents need to focus more on keeping their kids away from social media and away from technology in general. And with social media only getting more popular, there's no way teens won't be affected by it. Everyone in the world should try to limit the amount of social media they use. You never know what social media can do to you.